Hi friends, let us welcome back to our channel, that is Point Out. So in the last class we have discussed about judiciary. So today we are going to continue the further chapter. But before going to today's topic, let us revisit the last topic what we have discussed. Okay, we have seen about judiciary. Judiciary. So judiciary main thing is to resolve the conflicts or issues, and it should wanted to provide fundamental rights to the citizens. If any citizen fundamental right violated, they have to resolve. We discussed about the role of judiciary. So role of judiciary. So in this, majorly we discussed about three things. One thing is dispute resolution. So it says that if any conflict arises between citizen to citizen, or a citizen to state, or else state versus state, otherwise state versus central. So if any conflicts arise between them, then court will involve and solve that and provide justice for the real persons. Okay, so it will solve the issues. We have seen with an example. So if state versus state conflict arises, if state versus state conflict, so for that we have discussed with an example, that is water dispute. The best example will be Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Water dispute, Telangana and AP. So it is a state versus state conflict. So in this process, judiciary will be involved to resolve the issue. Further, we have discussed about state versus central. So if conflict arises between them, best example will be three language policy, so which is introduced by the BJP, and Tamil Nadu will be not accepting. So here is the conflict arised. And another example will be UCC. So this is about the dispute resolution. Further, we have discussed about judiciary review. Judiciary review. So judiciary review says that, so if any law was introduced, if it violates the basic structure of the constitution, or else if it violates the fundamental rights of the citizen, it should be struck down, and it's done by the judiciary. So this process is nothing but judiciary review. Okay. So we have seen with an example, that is, it's a hypothetical situation. Hypothetical situation. Suppose your state introduced a law. So that law says that if anyone raise their voice against the government regarding any policies or any laws, or if they question the government, so they are sentenced to jail, they are punished. So this is the law introduced by the state. But here what happens is, it is breaking down of fundamental rights, fundamental rights, that is Freedom of expression. Freedom of expression. Okay. So because of that, so it violated the fundamental rights and basic structure of the constitution. So then court will involve basic structure of constitution. So then court will involve or judiciary system will involve and strike down the law. Strike down. So this process is nothing but judiciary review. Okay, note it down, friends. Now let's discuss the third rule. So third rule is upholding the laws, and enforcement of laws, So this is. So it says that if anyone breaks the fundamental rights of a citizen, so they can address the judiciary system. So they will resolve the issue. Okay. If anyone breaks the fundamental right, so they can address the judiciary, they can resolve. So we have seen with an example, that is, so a farmer traveling on a train, unexpectedly he fell down. So because of that he was severely injured and he was sentenced to the hospital, but hospital management was not accepted to admit him, saying the different reasons. The first reason will be non-availability of the beds. Next, the risk-taking ability will be very high. There is high chance to death. Okay. So because of that, hospital management not accepted. So because of their non-acceptancy, okay, at that emergency conditions, he was died. Okay. So he was died. So his family was filed a petition against that hospitality and government at Supreme Court. Then Supreme Court said that, so according to the fundamental right, that is right to life. Okay, Article 21 says that right to life. So right to life also included the right to health. So because of that, so mismanagement of hospitality at that emergency situations, he caused death. So Supreme Court said, declared that they wanted to pay the compensation for the died person family. Further, they guided the state to implement laws regarding to the right to health. Okay. So a farmer injured because of the hospitality management. So according to the right to life, it's an Article 21. Article 21. So it also included right to health. Right to health. Okay. So Supreme Court for this punishment provided compensation, and further at that emergency period, so no other case should wanted to repeat. So further it provided guideline, that is construction of hospitalities or to provide the checkup at the times of emergency. So this is all about the role of judiciary. Further we have studied, okay, dispute resolution, further judiciary review, next enforcement of laws. Next we studied about, so why judiciary should wanted to be independent, importance of judiciary being independent. The first reason will be, so any politician personalities or business personalities don't want to fluctuate judges. So if they fluctuate or if they impact on the judges, so the judges try to partially support it to the those who consist of money power or political power, even at the cost of death of truth. Okay, so because of that, judiciary was completely separated from legislature and executive. So here separation of power taken place. Okay, so separation of power taken place. The major reason is not to fluctuate judiciary, not to fluctuate judiciary, so such that everyone can get free and fair trial. Free and fair trial. So yesterday we have seen with an example. Next, another major reason will be, so judiciary major thing will be, so if any citizen fundamental rights violated, if they address court, so it wanted to solve, so its main duty is to provide fundamental rights to the citizen for the sake of dignity of life. Okay, so to provide the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights of every citizen. Next one will be, so it will act as a check balance between legislature and execution. So if any misuse of power taken place by the either legislature or executive, so judiciary should wanted to involve in it, and it should want to reduce the misuse of power. Okay, so it will act like a check balance and control the misuse of power, either legislature or else executive. So this is all about we have studied in the last class. So note it down, friends. Today we are going to study about different levels of courts in our India. So different levels of courts in our India. So it consists of three. First one will be at district levels. Suppose consider a state. So state consists of many districts. Okay, and every district consists of district level court, and it is guided by the district judge. Further, we have now let us consider it state level. Okay, state level supreme will be high court. So every state consists of one court, that is high court. Further, for our country India, the primary one will be Supreme Court. Okay, Supreme Court. So it is located at New Delhi. So we have Supreme Court at New Delhi. Then each and every state consists of High Court for every state. Some states are combined, they have, and district level. So district level court for every district. So whatever the verdict given by the courts, they are binded up. Which means, so if the Supreme Court given, suppose district level court has given one verdict, okay, on a trial it given one verdict, and they are not satisfied, they are moved to the High Court. So High Court given one verdict, and they are not satisfied, they move to Supreme Court. So at the end, Supreme Court decisions are binded up with, Supreme Court decisions are binded up with all these three. Binded up. So they are interlinked. So this is nothing but appellate system. Okay. So this process is nothing but appellate system. Appellate system. So now let's see briefly about what is appellate system. Now let us see what is appellate system. So let's see with a case study. So what is case study says that it is Delhi administration versus Lakshman and his other members. So it was taken place at 1980. So now let's see to understand what is appellate system. So Lakshman, so he is a husband of Sudha Goyal. So they both married, and they both and their family combined their brother's family. So they lived at Delhi on a flat. Okay. So they combined lived at a flat. So one fine day, Sudha Goyal was burned up and she was dead at hospital. After the time passed in hospital, she was dead. Her body consists of burn, completely burned. Okay. So then Sudha Goyal parents, they filed a petition at district level court against Lakshman and their family members. So at Supreme Court, they said that they were killed my daughter for the sake of dowry. Here also there are witnesses. Okay, the neighbor people are saw that incident, so they turned into witness. So they said that they always torture the Sudha Goyal for the sake of dowry, for the sake of money. So always their mother-in-law, next husband, further their brothers to punish him. They force them to work more for the sake of dowry. And at the end, what they said means, so before she was sentenced to hospital, Sudha Goyal mother-in-law, that is Lakshman's mother, she was pour kerosene her on Sudha Goyal. Okay. And and her husband was lightened up fire on her. So because of that she was died. So Sudha Goyal was died because of mother-in-law and her husband. So because of that proofs, okay, so that through that witness, so they were declared that, so district level court verdict is, so they were sentenced to death. Okay, that three people are treated as a culprit and they were sentenced to death. So this is at the district level court. What is happened at district level court? Now let's see. Then Lakshman and their family members addressed to High Court. Addressed to High Court. So at High Court, non-availability of the proofs, proper proofs. So Lakshman and Subhash Rao, his brother Subhash Rao, and his mother-in-law, Lakshman Rao mother. So it declared as they are not culprits. So they cancelled the verdict of district level court. Okay. So they cancelled the verdict of district level court. So constitution provided that power to the High Court. They cancelled district level verdict. Next, so it's majorly happened because of dowry system and domestic violence. Okay, so many Mahila Mandals, so many women lawyers, they started protesting. They criticized. So they protested very hardly on the roads. So then they filed a petition at Supreme Court. Okay, then they filed petition at Supreme Court. So at Supreme Court, again the process is went and they declared Lakshman Rao and her mother Shakuntala. So they both are the culprit. Okay, they declared through the proofs. And non-availability of proofs, Subhash Rao, his brother, was declared non-verdict. Okay, Shakuntala and Lakshman Rao, as a punishment, they sentenced to death. So this is the process. Here, what happened? They first went to district level court. So Sudha Goyal family, they thought that there is not truth happened for us. Okay, then they moved to High Court. Sorry, Lakshman Rao and their family moved to High Court. At High Court, this family thought that they did not get proper right, and Mahila Mandals felt that, okay, Mahila Mandals also felt same. So they moved to High Court, Supreme Court. So at Supreme Court, final verdict was released, and Supreme Court decision will be the final. So this process is nothing but appellate system. This process is nothing but appellate system. Now let's discuss how all people getting access regarding justice. How all people getting access in justice. How? So, judiciary, to get a justice, it's a very complex process. Okay. So it will be a most time taking process. Further, they have to lot of money they have to pay until the result get. Next, further, it involves a lot of paperwork. So to getting justice for each and every one, it will become very complex. It will become written in the constitution, but it will not happen in reality. Okay, let's see. Let's see, a poor person whose whole and soul life depends on the daily wage worker. He was not educated. Okay, his livelihood majorly dependent upon that daily wage worker. So now what he will do? Will he go for the court for the justice? So he didn't have money, he didn't know how to do paperwork, the process is very complicated and it is a time taking process. So it becomes very hard to get justice for the people. Okay, so for that another thing was introduced, that is public litigation, interest litigation. They introduced to get justice for everyone, that is public interest litigation. Public interest litigation. So through this process, it will reduce the work. Okay, just a letter will be needed. So if they apply at either Supreme Court or at High Court, so they will consider the court and solve the issues. So the best examples are they solved regarding midday meal schemes. They solved the labored forces. So they solved labored forces. Next, Bihar. So Bihar people, so they made culprit and they were sentenced to jail. Even after the completion of the jail term, they are extended to stay at jails. So to avoid in such situations, public interest litigation was involved and resolved. So this is all about the public interest litigation. So in this way, every common citizen will get justice. Okay, every citizen will get justice with a free and fair. Further is, now let's discuss the last topic, that is a case study. A case study. So it's a Bombay Municipal Corporation versus Olga Tellers. Okay, Olga Tellers. So according to this, so municipal corporation, they wanted to evict the people, the slum people, those who are living at municipal corporations. So it was filed at Supreme Court. Then Supreme Court what said means, so they are settling at municipal corporations because so they did not have that level of financial or standard of living. Okay, so their standard of living don't support living in urban places. So because of that, they are living at municipal corporations. So their livelihood, okay, so their livelihood dependent on municipal corporations. If they evict, their livelihood will be misses. So according to the fundamental right, that is Article 21. Article 21, right to life, also includes right to livelihood. Right to livelihood. So because of that, court was supported to slum people. So here judiciary will be the taken role to support the slum people. Okay, so there were many drawbacks regarding judiciary. The major one will be time is so much of delay. So we all know that proper slogan, that is justice delay. So justice delay, justice denied. But instead of all such problems, still judiciary will act as a guardian for democracy. It protects the fundamental rights of the citizens, and further it will check and balance the it will restrict the misuse of the power by either legislature or executives. So thank you friends.